Dear friends, I went to see the Fat Controller the other day. I told him that in 1995 it would be 50 years since the first stories about his railway were published. Goodness gracious me, he said, we must do something to celebrate that. And so he set to work. Not everything went quite right. For instance, Thomas... Oh, but I shouldn't spoil the stories. I hope you enjoy them.
Oi, be careful, Sir Topomat needs that for the Jubilee.
Jubilee? I wonder what that's all about.
Birdstrike. Later that day, Thomas asked the other engines what they thought the Jubilee was. You silly little engine. I know what a Jubilee is. He's an engine called Bahamas. I met him at Crewe. A lovely chap indeed. Oh, I wouldn't mind meeting him again.
I thought a Jubilee was some kind of party. I remember Thomas and I took some scouts to one once.
No, Percy, that was a jamboree.
Oh, was it? Well, they sound pretty similar.
Dear me, a lot of you couldn't be further from the truth. It's actually a train, I'll have you know. The Silver Jubilee was pulled by my cousin Silverlink, and back in the day it was the fastest train on the mainland.
Yes, Gordon, however, we're not on the mainland.
Even so, I don't see why we need another train.
We don't.
The engines looked down to see the Fat Controller standing in front of them. He smiled warmly.
Guard Jubilee is a golden one, because it has been 50 years since our stories were published in book form. I believe it's a good idea to celebrate that.
So it is a party.
In a sense, yes. I haven't worked out all the details yet. We will all know about it in plenty of time.
The engines were excited. They'd never had a celebration like this before.
Will there be a special train, sir? And if so, may I be the one who boards it?
I'm sorry, Gordon. Yes, there is a special train, but I'll not be able to spare you, I'm afraid. In any case, I've heard you've been having coal and water problems on the mainland. Don't worry, Gordon. You remember Pip and Emma, don't you? I've asked them to be the ones who pulled a special train from London.
Very well, sir. They deserve to pull that train more than any engine.
I'm glad you agree, Gordon.
Near Henry's Tunnel, the main line passes through woodlands, and at this time of year the high branches of trees were full of birds' nests. It wasn't uncommon to see great flocks of birds circling above the railway. Gordon usually saw them feeding in the fields nearby. Today the birds were much closer to the line than usual.
I see, that's not quite right. Oh well, I'll just whistle, that should clear them away. Oh no.
A thick black cloud of birds formed above the railway line. Without warning they dived down, flying in front of the train.
Why are we stopping?
I think somebody's pulled the emergency brake. Don't worry, Gordon. The guard will tell us what's wrong in a minute.
But the guard was just as confused as the rest of them.
Well, it's clear there's a leak in one of the brake pipes. I'll go and check.
Looks like we may need to get some bootlaces ready, eh, Gordon?
How very amusing.
The fireman returned, shaking his head.
I can't understand it. Not a single leak along the entire train.
How on earth are the brakes stuck then?
That one of those blasted birds flew across. I think one nearly hit me and then the brakes came on.
Hang on a second. There you are.
Well, I never.
That bird must have knocked the seal off your brake part, Gordon.
In all my years, I've never heard of a Birdstrike on a steam engine before.
A crow managed it on the Great Western in 1915. I only read about it last week.
Well, Gordon, I'm sure that's something Duck could tell you about.
Gordon was soon on his way again, and he had hoped that the incident would stay between him and his crew. However, news travels fast on Sodor.
Poor old Gordon, fancy being stopped by a bird. That's nothing to crow about.